GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Marc Beaumont. Tonight we'll break down Quebec's approval of a permanent roof for the Olympic Stadium and the latest on the storm-driven insurance losses sweeping the province. Traffic's heavy with lane closures, and we'll check today's air quality as smoke drifts in. Over to you, Emma.
The Gala de la Francophonie, hosted by Marie-Line Joncas and Albin Ivanov, takes place Friday evening at the Palais des Congrès, celebrating French language culture.
Tickets, priced at $35 for adults and $20 for seniors, include live musical sets, poetry readings, and a tribute to Francophone authors.
The ceremony begins at 7:30, will be streamed on Télé Québec, and supports the Francophonie Youth Scholarship Fund for university students.
Lots to get to tonight, and the gala sets a wonderful tone for our community, but first the news as always. Good evening, Montreal. Quebec, the city and the federal government have joined forces on 8 construction projects that will bring 1,650 affordable homes to the island over the coming year. The plan, announced this week, spreads the new units across neighborhoods from the Plateau to Verdun, aiming to ease the tight rental market that has left many families searching for stable options. Provincial officials say the coordinated effort will speed up permits and leverage funding, while municipal leaders highlight the project's potential to create jobs and revitalize underused sites. Federal housing agencies are contributing financing to ensure the units remain truly affordable for and moderate-income households. Together, the 3 levels of government hope the new supply will begin to balance demand before the next housing cycle takes hold. Construction is slated to start in the coming months, with residents expecting the first doors to open by next summer.
An ambitious new mural is taking shape on the roof of a 19th-century barn in the eastern townships. Local artist Stina Bodden began work today at 4 a.m., painting a night sky scene that will incorporate silhouettes and symbols honoring the region's Black heritage. The project aims to bring visibility to a community that settled here in the 19th century but has long been left out of mainstream histories. Bodden says the dark backdrop will allow the stories of early Black families to emerge like constellations against the sky. The barn, a historic structure tucked among rolling fields, will become a temporary landmark, drawing attention from residents and visitors alike. Officials hope the artwork will spark further research and dialogue about the forgotten contributions of Black settlers in the eastern townships.
After decades of searching, a professor from Nova Scotia has built what he believes to be the largest assemblage of artifacts from the 1976 Montreal Games. The trove includes original medals, vintage signage, athlete uniforms, and rare photographs, each rescued from private collections and forgotten storage rooms across Canada. He says the collection is meant to travel back to the city that hosted the historic event, offering residents a chance to walk through the sights and sounds of that summer. Plans are underway to mount a public exhibition in Montreal later this year, with curators working to secure space in a downtown museum. The professor hopes the display will spark renewed appreciation for the legacy of the Games and inspire a new generation of sports enthusiasts. Visitors will also hear stories from athletes who competed on home soil.
Today La Presse is launching a real-time experiment to pinpoint the quickest way from downtown to Montreal Trudeau Airport. Researchers stationed in the paper's Old Montreal office will set a goal of reaching security at 15:20, exactly 3 hours before an 18:20 Montreal-Paris departure. The team will compare several routes, metro, REM, taxi, and rideshare, timing each leg from the city center to the terminal. By logging travel times and delays, they hope to produce a practical guide for travelers who often find the airport trek time consuming. The trial will run later this morning and into the afternoon, with results expected to be shared in a special report. If the findings prove reliable, passengers could cut down on stress and ensure a smoother start to their overseas journeys. The experiment also includes a control run using the traditional shuttle bus, which typically departs the downtown hotel at 12:45.
City officials and the World Cycling Championships organizers are deep into preparations for the September World Road Cycling Championships that will roll through Montreal's streets. The city has spent months mapping routes, coordinating with transit, and reinforcing key corridors to accommodate the unique demands of a global road race. Authorities expect 550,000 spectators to line the course, turning the event into an unprecedented international showcase for the island. Temporary viewing zones, expanded BIXI stations, and dedicated shuttle services are being set up to keep fans moving safely. Police and emergency services are drafting detailed response plans, while local businesses anticipate a surge in visitors. As the countdown continues, Montreal is positioning itself as a world-class host for one of cycling's premier competitions. The city hopes the race will boost tourism and leave a lasting legacy for future sporting events. Coming up, a unique SAAQ hearse tour across Quebec promoting safe driving during the construction holidays, plus more local headlines. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you stayed with us. Now let's turn to Emma Leclair for the local stories shaping our community tonight.
Today, the Société de l'Assurance Automobile du Québec launched a province-wide safety campaign that sees a white hearse cruising through Quebec's highways. The vehicle, painted in the agency's distinctive color, will stop in towns and rest areas to remind drivers that the construction holidays bring an unusually heavy flow of traffic. Officials say the surge of trucks, commuters, and vacationers raises the risk of collisions, so the SAAQ is using the stark image of a hearse to underline the potential consequences of reckless behavior. The campaign includes pamphlets, roadside signage, and brief talks by safety officers at each stop. Organizers hope the visual reminder will encourage motorists to keep safe distances, obey speed limits, and avoid distractions while the roads are busiest. The tour is scheduled to continue through the holiday period, reaching communities across the province.
More than 160 forest fires blaze across Quebec today, contributing to a national total of about 950 active blazes, officials say. Ontario alone accounts for roughly 200 of those fires, adding to the widespread summer emergency that has stretched firefighting resources province to province. Smoke from the flames drifts into nearby communities, prompting air quality advisories and prompting some residents to keep windows closed. Provincial agencies continue to monitor the situation, deploying crews and aerial support where conditions allow. The sheer scale of concurrent fires underscores the challenges faced by crews battling multiple fronts, while the heat wave that has persisted this season fuels the relentless spread. Authorities stress that the situation remains fluid, with containment efforts ongoing throughout the day. Residents in affected regions are advised to stay informed through local alerts as crews work around the clock.
Rain and thunderstorm warnings are now active across several regions of Quebec, with meteorological services confirming the conditions will persist through the day. Heavy rain bands and frequent lightning have been reported, prompting alerts for potential flash flooding and reduced visibility on roadways. Residents in affected areas are being urged to monitor local updates as the storm system moves eastward, bringing gusty winds that could impact outdoor activities and travel plans. Emergency responders remain on standby, and power utilities are preparing for possible outages linked to the intense weather. Public transit operators have reported possible delays, and some schools have announced temporary closures as a precaution. The ongoing alerts are expected to continue into the evening, underscoring the need for caution when navigating streets or venturing outdoors. Authorities will reassess the situation and issue further notices if conditions evolve.
Public health officials reported today that cases of anaplasmosis, a tick-borne illness, are rising across Quebec. The disease spreads when an infected tick bites a person, delivering bacteria that cause fever, chills, and muscle aches. Though less known than Lyme disease, anaplasmosis often produces more severe symptoms and can worsen quickly without treatment. Health authorities noted the increase aligns with the peak of outdoor activity, urging anyone in parks, gardens, or wooded areas to check for ticks after exposure. Early detection and antibiotics remain the most effective defenses. Residents are advised to wear long sleeves, use repellent, and remove any attached ticks promptly. Clinicians have observed more patients with fever and joint pain, leading labs to prioritize testing. The Provincial Health Agency is gathering data to monitor the spread and will issue updates as the situation develops.
6 Canadian pieces have secured spots on the COD Awards shortlist for the world's leading public art competition, and 3 of those are creations by artists based in Quebec. The COD Awards, run by COD Aworks, celebrate the most innovative works in open spaces around the globe, and this year the list highlights a strong provincial presence. For residents who pass by murals, sculptures, or interactive installations in their neighborhoods, the announcement signals that a number of new projects could appear locally as the finalists vie for the top honor. City officials say the recognition may inspire municipalities to commission additional works, adding color and conversation to everyday routes. Organizers will reveal the ultimate winner later in the year, but the current roster already showcases the diversity of Canadian talent, with half of the national entries coming from Quebec's vibrant art scene.
Now let's turn to your evening forecast and see what weather's in store.
Falling low pressure and a swift southwest jet set the stage for tonight's late evening rain band. On this date, the all-time high reached 31.1 degrees Celsius in the year 2020, a brief spike during a lingering heat wave that pushed the city into record territory. The record low stands at 14 degrees Celsius, set in the unusually cool snap of 2014, when a deep Arctic trough dragged frigid air southward. Normal July highs hover around 23 degrees, with lows near 19, so today's temperatures sit comfortably between those historic extremes. The live radar shows a compact echo forming over the Laurentians, marching southeastward at a brisk pace. By 8 o'clock, the band will brush the island, delivering the heaviest showers near 8, then tapering off as the system slides past. Outside that core, the map remains clear, confirming the dry air mass that still blankets downtown. With the jet stream steering the moisture, we expect the rain to clear the city by 9. Turning now to the evening outlook. At 6 p.m., Montreal sits under an overcast veil, temperature 20 degrees, humidity 80%, and a low pressure that is falling. A modest southeast breeze at 12 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 32, adds a brisk feel. The southwest jet aloft, moving at 172 kilometers per hour, is injecting higher-level energy that will sustain the late evening rain band. UV index is 1. No wind exceeds 25 kilometers per hour in sustained flow, though gusts remain noticeable. Alerts in effect: air quality warnings for Hemmingford, Huntingdon, St. Remy, Valleyfield, Beauharnois, and Vaudreuil, plus a severe thunderstorm watch for the St. Adèle, St. Sauveur corridor. Expect the rain to peak around 8, then diminish, leaving a damp but clearing night. Tomorrow brightens with clear skies and a high of 24, low 14, a welcome break after tonight's showers. Monday repeats the 24 high and 14 low, but clouds will return, keeping the sky overcast. Tuesday sees the warmest day at 25 with a low of 19. A 60% chance of rain will arrive mid-afternoon as a slow-moving front pushes eastward. Wednesday cools slightly to a high of 23 and low 16, yet a 40% rain probability persists into the evening, driven by lingering moisture. Thursday clears again, offering a high of 24 and low 16 under mostly sunny conditions. The pattern reflects a retreating low-pressure system and a northward shift of the jet, allowing drier air to dominate by the weekend. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Heavy traffic snarls tonight's candlelight tribute to Adele and the NHL season opener preview, plus a spotlight on Steve's music store. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theater Filler changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Eastbound Auto Route 40 is now diverted onto the Côte de Lys service road, and a handful of entrance ramps are shut. That bottleneck is spilling onto the Décarie and the St. Laurent, adding up to 20-minute delays from the Côte de Lys interchange to the Ville-Marie tunnel. Drivers heading toward the east side should look for alternate routes such as the Décarie Expressway or the St. Laurent to bypass the closure. On the Honoré-Mercier Bridge, traffic is reduced to a single lane in each direction. Expect a steady crawl during the afternoon peak, especially between the Mercier and the Viaoux exits. Motorists can consider the Viaoux-Langelier corridor as a backup. Finally, Boulevard de la Cité des Dunes, known locally as Route 340, is fully closed for construction. Traffic is being rerouted onto St. Charles and Henry Bourassa, adding roughly 10 minutes for east-west trips. Transit runs on schedule with no reported delays currently.
Montreal's International Dragon Boat Challenge splashes onto Parc Jean-Drapeau this afternoon, pitting crews from around the world against each other in sprint and endurance races, a thrilling way to feel the city's pulse from the water. Candlelight offers a heartfelt tribute to Adele at Theatre Rialto, a 60-minute showcase that lets fans of all ages hear her biggest hits in an intimate, candle-lit setting perfect for a summer evening. Metal lovers can head to Les Foufounds Electriques for a 3-band onslaught featuring Metal Church, Heathen, and All Sinners, a high-octane night that promises headbanging energy from start to finish. Meanwhile, the Festival de l'Année brings Shostakovich to life with Payer and the OSM at Amphitheatre Fernand Lindsay, a classical program that proves even the hottest summer night can be a soundtrack for deep listening. All these events are happening now, so wherever you are, there's a reason to step out and make tonight memorable. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's teams as the summer heats up. The CBC Sports NHL reports that the 2026-27 season kicks off on Sept 29. Opening night will feature an all-Canadian clash as the Montreal Canadiens travel to Toronto to face the Maple Leafs, while the Oilers meet the Canucks later that evening. The CBC Sports Soccer recap notes that on Sunday the Montreal Roses secured a 1-0 victory over the Halifax Tides. Substitute Chloe Minas converted a penalty in the 77th minute, delivering the lone goal and the 3 points for the home side. The CBC Sports NHL confirms that the Montreal Canadiens have dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks. The transaction returns future considerations to Montreal, marking a notable roster move as the club reshapes its lineup ahead of the upcoming season. An international sports firm has injected $30 million into the Northern Super League, the Canadian women's professional soccer competition now in its second season, supporting its 6-team structure spanning Vancouver, Calgary, Halifax, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa. The Canadiens have dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations, a move confirmed on June 29 that reshapes Montreal's forward depth and adds a veteran presence to Vancouver's roster as the off-season progresses.
Steve's Music Store on Ste. Catherine Street East in downtown Montreal, a 61-year-old institution, is turning its final inventory into an online auction. Continental Auctioneers will host the sale on July 22 and 23, featuring more than 2,000 lots of guitars, keyboards, professional audio gear, and DJ equipment. The shop announced it is closing its brick-and-mortar locations across Quebec and Ontario, shifting to a purely digital model after a tough financial stretch. For generations of Montreal musicians, Steve's has been the place to find that perfect instrument or a friendly ear, and this auction is a chance for the community to keep those sounds alive. It's a reminder that the city's creative pulse endures even when storefronts change. And later, we celebrate Montreal's excitement as the city prepares for the September World Road Cycling Championships, pure community spirit.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
From the bustling heart of La Salle, where the St. Lawrence River brushes the streets, the Ngok-Tungia Cultural Association opened its doors this Saturday for the 12th annual Cameroonian Community Cultural Day. Families arrived in bright batik dresses, the scent of grilled endolé mingling with fresh mangoes on the picnic tables. Children chased each other around a makeshift drum circle, their laughter rising above the steady rhythm of djembes played by elders who had walked these same sidewalks decades ago. One vivid moment captured the spirit of the day. A young woman in a hand-woven togho stepped forward, her eyes shining as she taught a group of curious teenagers how to tie the traditional knot that secures a woven basket. The simple gesture sparked an instant connection, and soon the crowd was sharing stories in both French and Douala, bridges built with music and food. By sunset, the park was awash in lantern light, and the community gathered for a shared feast, reminding everyone that heritage lives strongest when it is celebrated together. I'm Marc Beaumont, and that's a reminder of how Montreal's neighborhoods keep our world close.
On a bright Saturday morning in Westmount's historic St. Louis Square, families lingered over coffee while the city's council chambers opened for a special town hall on municipal conduct. Mayor Michael Stern, recently cited for 7 alleged ethics breaches, stood beside longtime resident and volunteer coordinator Marie Tremblay, ready to listen. The room buzzed as the mayor apologized for language that had hurt colleagues and pledged to enroll in a province-wide ethics workshop, a program launched after the municipal commission's findings. One detail stood out, a handwritten note from a young student tucked into the mayor's notebook that read, "We believe in you." The gesture sparked a ripple of support, with council members offering mentorship sessions and community groups organizing a respect and service mural on the side of the former fire station. By the close of the evening, the mayor announced a new open-door policy, inviting residents to drop by his office for candid conversations. The evening reminded Westmount that accountability can be a bridge to stronger trust, and that a shared commitment can turn a setback into a step forward.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's highlight was the Montreal Artists' Night Sky Barn mural that will honor Black history across the city's skyline. We appreciate your viewership and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow. See you then. Stay tuned for tomorrow's look at the new affordable homes planned for Quebec and Montreal.